Hello everybody, what's going? Welcome to another stream of Between Two Geeks. My name is Henry, I'm here with the lady, and I know it's strange. Because normally it's Rúben doing these kinds of live streams, it's not me, but we decided for this live stream in specific, we're going it was going to be me taking the leads, as we say. What?
He kidnapped Rúben.
It's on the closet right now.
Yeah.
But yeah. Well, today we have a treat for you. We have a total treat for you because some weeks, maybe months ago, we started contacting a special cosplayer about doing an interview, another international cosplayer to our repertoire, and we decided to invite her plus her partner to talk about their cosplay career, also their recent competition, also talking about their newest adventure together as co-partners. So I think we've said it all. Maybe we should introduce the.
Let's introduce them.
Yeah, let's introduce our guests then. Well, Sakuraflor, Arfi, welcome to our show. We're so glad that you're here. It was weeks in the making, this interview. Literal weeks in the making.
Out, but we're here.
Yeah, thank God you saved some time for us. No, actually, our calendars intertwined with each other, and we could have this interview. By the way, hey Gezaki on the chat.
Hello,
I know to see you here.
She was like, nice, like.
Yeah, just lurking. Yeah, that's the problem we're gonna have with OBS, because again, I should have a second screen, and the second screen wasn't working, and yeah, scuff every day.
It's emotional damage.
Emotional
damage. Yeah. I mean,
oh, well, yeah. Now I've realized what happened, because on Twitch is just like.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I have to open. I have to leave Discord open, so it doesn't scuff up. But yeah, how are you guys?
Good. I mean, we just got back from the UAE, and Harry's leaving to England tomorrow. So, like I said, we had to really connect the dates. But,
shoot!
Okay.
Schedules, honestly, we're always back to back, but just excited to kind of meet you guys, and yeah, look forward to this.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start the interview with the first question. Let's start with your cosplay careers, and let's start with your what was your first cosplay?
Oh, you kick us off. Sure.
Let's start. Let's start with Maria.
Yes, I always get this question, but the thing is, so I actually have pictures of my first cosplay, so I'm always like, But
you don't have to show them. We don't have to show them. Let's just talk about it. Yeah.
So my first ever cosplay was Lucy Heartfilia from Fairy Tale, the after time skip, you know, with the short skirt and the whip.
Oh, yeah.
The problem was, right, the first time I started cosplay, I come from a very strict Catholic family. So when I came down the stairs in the short skirt with the whip and everything, I remember my grandparents were there, my Spanish grandparents, and they were just...
Yeah, I was gonna say, maybe it was because of your Spanish part of the family.
100%, but the worst part was they were... I mean, they're like, what is this? Like, huh? So they were very confused, but I've always been really supportive. So, but yeah, that was my first cosplay.
I think mine was, so I'm still a baby in the world of cosplay. So I kind of come back from sports backing, but I think I jumped into cosplay with My Hero Academia Mirio Togata. I think that was my first cosplay back in like 2018 or 2019. It was so bad.
No, it was really cute.
It was awful.
The first project is always bad in anything.
Oh yeah.
It's the first one is always the one we have the critics.
Oh yeah, we regret it with everything, but I had the blessing of purging that off the internet, so there's no way to find this. It is.
No one's going to know.
I'm gonna tell you.
Okay, no one's going to know.
Oh.
By the way, hello, Erza.
Yeah, hello. I
Yeah.
said hello to her like on writing.
Oh, on chat. Yeah, on chat.
Yeah.
Now I have my chat open on my phone just to see what's happening.
Yeah. So my question is, to this date, what was your favorite cosplay and why? It was like,
you start. You start with this one.
I mean, oof. I think so. For me, my favorite cosplay, I haven't done it yet. There's one that I know that is going to stick with me. But that's for the future.
So it's a cosplay, yeah.
Yeah, it's a cosplay. But my favorite one so far, I think, has to be. I think it must be Zack Fair, just because I had the chance to do it with Soku. It was a really fun project. Super late notice. We made everything in about 3 days, and
maybe I'll switch to to the other screen and start showing pictures.
Oh no!
Yeah, talking about that cosplay.
That is the one. That is the one.
Eric.
It was such a pleasure to work on this with her. Like, we did it for an event in Saudi Arabia. It was honestly, and it was just amazing. I felt like we did a really good job.
Also this one, yeah.
And it was nice to bring them to life. And everybody seemed to really enjoy it. So we're always happy when we do a project and we see that there's so much positivity behind the overall outcome and the process. So it's really nice.
People remember that one comment of someone going like, I didn't know Final Fantasy, but I saw this picture and now I started playing it, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry. Now you're addicted. So sad.
And mostly this specific Final Fantasy VII entry.
Yeah.
With Zach. Yeah.
Works.
I know. Like I'm such a Final Fantasy IX fan, but
9 was a beautiful game, but then kind of just.
Yeah. Well, I
depends. The Final Fantasy 14 is like on top right now.
Yeah,
but
really.
It's different. It's
an MMO. I know.
Yeah. It's a long burn.
But I think for me, my favorite cosplay, it's really hard because we make so many costumes every single time. So you keep making new costumes that you fall in love with. I have two that are really, really dear to my heart. One is Glitch. She's not a character that exists. It's something that I came up with.
Actually, that's one of the cosplays that I wanted to talk about. Your OC cosplay from Boku no Hero. Glitch.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the most interesting cosplays that I've seen.
Well, the thing is, like, her story is still going, and it was the first time for me to ever bring my own ideas to life. And not just that, like, we did it with an entire community. So it was just in COVID, I was like, oh, I can't really do much in COVID because all the events stopped and whatever. So I'm gonna finally do a project that I want to do myself. And I didn't think she would become popular, but we made it an open tag, and suddenly
let me see if I can no, not this one. Sorry.
It's been a long time since I've actually cosplayed her because of like how busy we got. But like, yeah, it was. She's really dear to my heart just purely because it was the first time I could actually make someone that was modeled after me. Because I literally made Glitch as okay, if I were a superhero, what would I be? I would be annoying, so I would probably.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that type of annoying character. Just sticking the finger on everything.
Yes, exactly. Just all over the place, and she just became really dear to my heart because it was a project I did together. Like the costume was made by Dobie, who was at that time my intern as well. And it was just really nice to see that you can bring different people together to do something like this. It's still living on TikTok, and I mean, she's got some major developments coming up because the story is about to take a really interesting turn.
Oh, okay.
And
I cannot.
Yes.
Something is happening with Instagram right now, but I have some pictures downloaded. Thank God. So yeah, I'll show them right here. Let me just again the cameras, window capture.
The cameras again died.
Yeah.
And they're back.
There we go.
Oh,
and died.
There we go.
Glitch. Oh.
Yeah, there's Glitch.
Oh.
It's so funny to see that. This was actually taken in Rotterdam as well, so one of the biggest cities in the Netherlands. But yeah, she's been with me since like the beginning of COVID. Yeah. So she pulled me through COVID. And yeah, she just has a big meaning to me because of that, and because I was able to connect to the community with this character. Yeah, there's a lot that's still gonna happen. We can talk about it later if you'd like, but she's one. And then the other one is a costume that I have been wanting to make for the longest time, but never really had a reason to until Magic Monaco, which is Fi, like the default Fi. I've always wanted to make her, but I was really stupid. I was very insecure, and I didn't think I could pull her off. So I was like, oh no, she's like this really badass, sexy type, and it doesn't suit me. And then I met this man, and he was like, you can do it. And I was like, okay, let's do this.
Yeah, so, this cosplay right here that I am showing on the reel.
She makes me feel so hot.
Oh yeah. Now I see.
Honestly,
Vi is just awesome.
I know, right? Anyone.
We'll show more pictures when we start talking about the Magic Monaco.
Yes, 100%. But yeah, those two are my favorite. At the moment, my favorite cosplay.
Yeah. Okay, so another question for you. Talking about the favorite cosplay and first cosplay. Now the cosplay that made you the most headaches to make.
Which one of the all of
them? Let's yeah, basically mostly because of working with the materials and stuff, right?
Oh yeah, for you it's Ito, right? I think or was it
I don't know, I think it was just that whole, like, we got hired for a gig and we complete the whole thing in
3 days.
Yeah, like it was one of Exobase's first like gigs. It was.
But we had to do 5 costumes in 3 days. So we were just crying. It was giving us headaches because we didn't physically have enough hours in the day to finish it.
Mm-hmm.
I think though as well, if we're gonna talk about it, I'm just gonna out myself really hard. Fine, because I made a gauntlet with 6 fingers instead of 5. Figured it out after I had to connect the fingers. I was like, wait, I only have 5 fingers. Why is there 6 like ropes?
The worst thing is she turned around.
That's funny.
Yeah, the thing is, I showed him. I'm like, look, something is wrong with this. But what's wrong with this? And he just looks at me and he didn't notice. And I was like, 6 fingers.
I was like,
oh my god.
Yeah. One of the people in chat here, Giyazaki, said, she made like 5 costumes in 3 days, and it was like it's such how can I say this such a nightmare and a rush to do them.
Yeah. Oh, it was
actually, Miyazaki asked a question a few minutes ago. Is do you guys usually craft and sew your cosplays? If so, what's your favorite part to create?
Ooh. I think you answer yours first. Yours first.
I think when it comes to exhibits and stuff, so I'm head of the creative department. When I used to do cosplay in the beginning, like I did everything myself because it was this norm that people had, like, oh, you have to create your costumes yourself, but that's not the case. So these days, we work with teams. And I have, for example, the super talented Dobie works on sewing. We have Nofart, who we work with for certain props. And I do everything myself as well. But we, these days, because we have so many projects and we work with companies, we actually have teams working on it. For me personally, though, my favorite, all-time favorite part is the armors and the weathering. I love painting armors and weathering.
Oh, yeah. I think we can show one example right here. Let me see your recent cosplay with the Stargirls.
Oh, yes. Oh, man. Yeah. This was a perfect example of a project that we did with the team. So this was with the team that works also on the projects for Exobase. So the sewing was done by...
So this was also part of Exobase. Okay. Yeah. That was one of the questions I was going to ask.
So this project actually, this wasn't an Exobase project. So Exobase has a very, very specific project window. So when Exobase steps in a project, we manage the CGI, we manage every single aspect of production. We run a full movie house. So if you wanted a Marvel movie...
Yes, CGI, stunt work, and all of that stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
But this one, even though it wasn't run through Exobase, it's with the same team that does Exobase.
Part of it.
Yeah, so it's
well,
like...
since we're talking about Exobase, I'm going to switch to another Windows because I have the website right here.
Oh.
For Exobase, yeah.
Oh.
Just show
yes. Yes, that's Exobase. That is us.
That's
yes.
really cool.
I mean, Exobase is honestly like the next level of what solo. So you have our solo work as cosplayers. Obviously, when you do something, you can only reach a certain level until you work together with more people. And then when you bring more people together, you can really elevate it to the next level. And that's what Exobase is.
I mean, the thing is, a lot of people don't realize that the movie production space, and if you utilize cosplay correctly, there is not as big a gap as most people think. So in the movie space, you have 10 to 30 people working on a single costume. And each of those people...
In the movie space, you have like a team of hundreds of people just for a single project. And then you have streamers that do everything at once.
Yeah, exactly. It's the jack of all trades.
That's it. And when you're doing the projects, you have one specific person who masters one thing. So it might be not even the full molding. It'll be when you're casting, they know how to make no bubbles in the cast.
It's one that specializes in photo. It's one that specializes in illumination. One in producing, lettering and working, CGI and all that stuff. Yeah.
But when you approach it with cosplayers like Saku, this is the main reason why. So we saw so much potential in working together. We kind of got me, who's the business investment side of things, then you got Saku, who's this creative genius when it comes down to the cosplay and the film and things like that. So we kind of stepped in together and we went, okay, how can we take the movie production space, gaming and esports to the next level? Because at the moment, let's be honest, gaming isn't hitting what it used to hit. You look at 2013, you look at Halo campaigns, you look at games that I will not name campaigns. They're going like this because you have studios with bigger budgets and the game quality and the campaigns are becoming non-existent or just lower quality.
Yeah, but also not only that, we've also seen so many talented cosplayers and just YouTubers and streamers that are not getting paid what they should get paid.
Yep.
These people are a jack of all trades. They know how to make the costumes, they know their audience, they know everything, yet they get paid so little. So we've also made it our mission to find a way to like teach other talents to get paid properly.
Yes.
Because this is not a hobby anymore. It is an actual job. You're working for it. Your hours should be valid, you know, you should be paid for that. So combining all of that is what Exobase is about.
And
I'm already showing you some other another project of yours in Gamescom.
yes, Gamescom is a great example. So we did everything you could think for this event. We brought in our tech team who helped run the screens and things like that as well. And Exobase really, we decided to step up the quality of what was offered at Gamescom. We wanted something that left an impression on the fans' hearts and go, okay, this isn't just a booth. This isn't just a structure. This is something that we connect to. And that's why we flew in. We had Joff, Spider-Man stunt double. We had some internal stunting teams do some magical things. We had Charlotte Lowe step in, who are major producers
as well. Like the whole show was gathered around like giving the people an experience so they could be a part of it. So for example, the show that we did on stage consisted of a 5-minute interactive, very fast-paced fighting scene, and
super
then
high octane.
And then afterwards, it was like a sort of selection of like, okay, who wants to join the Arataki gang? You got to do all these things. So we were doing like interactive things, like asking them to do push-ups and stuff like that. You know, like making it interactive. To be a part of it. So it was really fun.
And 8 months after this, there's still a media footprint being created, and it shows the difference of an event which they've just thrown funds towards a booth, or an event which they've thrown funds towards the fans.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, that you need to create an experience, because that's what cosplayers do.
Yeah.
Cosplayers, talents, YouTubers, streamers, we all create more than just showcase. We create an experience. People feel, relate, you know, and yeah, it should be valued.
We're the community managers to our own channels.
Yeah.
So you understand
that's
it.
Right. Very true.
Okay. Yeah. So,
but this is one of the events. Like we've got so much on our plates at the moment that the gaming space is going to be changed very quickly, like sooner than you think. Let's put it that way.
I really hope.
Yeah.
Gyazaki said that you guys are so sweet, and I agree.
Love you.
Thank you.
We love
you. So let's see. We jumped some questions because we plan to talk about Exobase as the last part of the interview. Now we're jumping back to.
We can go back and.
We're just jumping through questions right now. Let me
It's mine.
catch
my
a bit.
Turn to,
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, and actually is one of my favorite questions because I need
because she loves talking about that.
No, it's like something that I'm very interested, you know, to know materials and stuff. So, what's your favorite tools, props, materials to work with when making cosplay?
We already talked about leather, of course. We already talked about leather.
What's my favorite? I push this on everyone. Like every time they talk to me, after talking to me, they work with this material because most people don't know it. It's called Sintra or Forex, which is a material that is normally used for billboards. And it makes the best armors ever. It is so pretty. And then the second one that I really suggest is 2K Catalyzer, which is a catalyzer that is like a furnace, but normally you put it on cars, and that makes stuff shiny. Like my Phi armor is catalyzed with this catalyzer, shiny and really hard.
That's interesting.
Okay.
Taking notes.
So we talked about cosplay. We talked about a little bit of Exobase. Let's jump into Magic Monaco then.
Hey!
The main part of the show. And also, congrats for the first place.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Did not expect it at all, so it was like a big surprise. You had more faith in me than I had.
Yeah, right here, and there you go. The congratulatory picture.
It's so crazy to look back at it. I still don't believe it. Like it's really. So there was so much talent there, like it was insane. When we walked in,
we also have another picture right here with the podium.
I mean, look at them. It's insane. Like, I walked in and I remember saying to Harry, hey, we're here for fun. It's okay. We're not here to win. We're here for fun. So, but they are so talented, man. And everybody was... The thing that I like about these competitions and the cosplay community is it's like you create a new family. You come in there and everybody's so supportive and nice. And if you need something, you just ask, hey, do you have... And everybody will come, you know? So... It's such a beautiful community, and it had been.
It should always be like that. It should always be like that.
Yeah. Well, it is funny because like I used to do modeling, and in that industry also I did how do you call that, the beauty pageant, and that's competitions too. But they are not nice. I'm gonna tell you, if you compete there, your clothes will be ripped. Your like money is gone. Like. Being in a community where you're competing and everybody is so nice and supportive of each other, it's very, very good. And I did competitions like in the beginning of my cosplay career, and then I stopped for 4 years. I didn't do competitions for 4 years because I just didn't have the time. So when I got asked for Magic Monaco to represent the Netherlands, I spoke to Harry and I was like, you know, I kind of really want to do it because I haven't done competitions in a while, and I kind of want to prove myself again that I can make the costume, that I can do this whole thing, and I love being on stage. And he was like, yeah, you should do it. So I had 2 weeks because projects and everything.
She was working on EXA-based projects. She was working on Asterigos, and then she was also working on Magic Monaco, which she started 2 weeks before the event.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that seemed like a rush. That totally seemed like a rush.
That's why I was crying when I made 6 fingers instead of 5, because I had to start over.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It was really, really crazy.
Intense.
But it was good to get into it because what I like to say as well, when we talk to, for example, clients and companies, it's so important to know where you started and to know what, I always say, if you started as a cleaner of a hotel, when you own the hotel, you know exactly what happens on the ground floor. And that's the same with this, where if you go back to your basics, for me, it started with competitions, you feel that why you're doing this, you feel why you started, you feel the power of the community. And like this picture shows, like they are so fantastic. Like these people, oh my god, I miss them.
It's a family.
We can see already Synergy and Naimija right at the right side of the picture.
Kuro.
And Kuro,
She's like there.
Yeah.
But literally also it was really nice because when we came there, for example, the Portuguese teams, like they immediately adopted me. They were like, yes, you're now Portuguese, part of our family.
You're already from the Iberian Peninsula, so why not?
Yes, exactly. It was so nice. Like,
also,
it was so much fun.
Also, this picture right here.
Oh, it's the one. I think it's the one, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, Naimija. No.
Here she is, Naimija. Welcome. On chat.
We miss you.
Oh.
Honestly, you guys need to come to the Netherlands. Come to the Netherlands sometime. We'll house you.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was such a good experience, and I remember just meeting everyone, and I knew a few of them already from years back, but I hadn't talked to them in a long time because I no longer did competitions. So coming back in this community and hearing what everyone has been doing like the last 5 years was it was crazy, man.
It was amazing.
It was so fun.
It really was.
Yeah, and for it was also really cool to see it because like on this level competition, it's completely different to what he's used to. He does a lot of like judging and all that stuff, so he knows a lot more about competitions than a lot of the people. But this is also seeing it from another side, from another angle, seeing me being all like self-conscious and stuff. Like it's a different experience, I think. But it was fun, right?
Yeah, it was an interesting experience. Like
mostly this part of the experience. Mostly this part of this, where you all dressed up as like Greek women and men. In robes.
So we need to explain this, right? This genius idea, right? There was a spa in the hotel, and we had a group of 5 people. We called ourselves the Idiot Squad because we were idiots.
Yeah.
So
True.
it was I think Luis from like Mexico. We had the 2 Italians, Leslie and Stefano, and then it was and then it was the 2 of us. I can't count, I promise. But yeah, so the 5 of us, we were like having like this conversation in the sauna, and I don't know, I think it was you who said, yo, they were talking about wearing casual cosplays for the after party, but we had already packed our suitcases. So he was like, yo, we should do toga party, but he was just joking, right? And I turned around and I looked at him and was like, we should? Let's go! So we went downstairs.
Let's freaking go!
Yeah, in towels. And we went and asked them, can we have 5 bed sheets? And they're just looking at us like, huh? Why do you need 5 bed sheets? So we explained the whole story. And then this happened. It was not planned at all.
It was really fun though. The thing was, like, as we said, it was super kind of spontaneous. So we all rocked up and everybody was in suits. And or they were dressed up really, really kind of poshly. So
and then there were you guys in the toga suits.
Yeah, we just rocked up. We're just like.
The best part is like Stefano. He was like, "Oh, we need to go down and be like the Romans, you know, just no laughing, no smiling, and just go like this." So 5 idiots of us just walked down the stairs into this event like this.
Oh, the worst thing was though, Luis spilt his wine down the front of my white toga.
Oh,
yeah, before we went down the stairs.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As I wore 2 of them, I just like flipped it over and then it was good
like,
to go.
We just hide this. We hide the mistakes like we do with cosplay. A little duct tape and it's done.
Yeah.
Also, there's a reference that I'm gonna talk about that most of the people here won't understand, but I remember vividly. I should have downloaded the story the moment with the piano before the competition.
Oh, I'm not talking about this.
Which one? Piano. I'm confused.
Titanic piano. The train station.
Oh, the train station. Oh my God! Yes.
It's a little bit slow.
You know, there's so many things that happened at this event. Is there? The video is there somewhere, right?
I don't know.
It was on stories, but I should have downloaded them. I should have.
We have them somewhere, but yes, basically, I think we went to a train station and there was a piano. Yeah. And he was like, oh, I can play a little bit of piano. Now, this hot-looking man playing piano, everybody was like, oh, you know. And then, I don't know, who was it that actually was really good at playing piano? I think, it was one of the hosts, I think. But she sat down. No, I think it was
I know that Synergy and Naimija were with you, just dancing.
Yes, because she started playing piano, and I'm like, you know what, guys? We need to give them a show. So I put my camera away. It's like everybody just dancing, and it was the biggest chaos dance party
so chaos.
In the middle of a train station.
I love it.
But this is when you meet people who are amazing, and they all just connect. Nobody cares. You just have fun, and that's what life should be about. Like when you look back at these moments, you're like, yeah, that was definitely weird, but it was awesome.
Yeah, also of those kinds of moments.
I was looking at the chat, and a few moments ago, like when we're talking about materials, Gazaki asked, "Is Sintra like foam, AVA foam?"
Okay, so Sintra is. I'm gonna be honest. It's quite difficult to work with. It is a mixture between like. How can I say
thermoplastic?
It's just a thermoplastic, but it's not as flexible as, for example, Worbla. This one you can only bend it like a little bit, so your patterns need to be really, really good, so that you can just heat it and stick it little by little. But because it's plastic, it doesn't bend with foam. You need to heat it up to bend it. The top side of it. Sorry.
If we talk about like water cooling in custom water cooling in PCs, something like that. Like PETG and other types of plastics, we also have to heat up to bend the tubes and so they.
Yeah, like it's quite similar to that, except it's flat. And then the other thing is because it's such a good material, you can really easily sand it. So if you take something of like Sintra of like 0.5 centimeters, you can easily stick it together and just sand it until it's smooth. It's fantastic. And in order to prime it, you don't need to prime it, but I always recommend to do it anyways. For priming, I personally always use like the Plasti or the quick spray, whatever they call it. Like every store has a different name for it, but it's a good one to use on Sintra as well.
Naimija on chat is saying first, we'll visit you as soon as possible. She promises, and to the talk about outfits was the highlight of the whole event.
Oh,
it was too good.
I swear to God, the outfits were the best thing ever, and I laughed so hard.
It was so much fun.
It was so stupid. It was so fun.
There's another question from Giyazaki. Is that have you ever had a nasty interactions in cosplay competition?
Oh, cosplay competition.
No.
I have to think about it. It's been a long time. I think yes, we've had, but not competing, judging. When I competed, like the competitions that
you get it a lot as judging though.
Yeah.
It's not like so. Wait. Before
we go into judging, competing wise, I personally have never had a bad experience because we're always very supportive of each other. Obviously, there's always people that are going to be disappointed, but normally they're very supportive. However, with judging,
it's a very, very different experience because you're always going to annoy somebody. So that's the thing. Like everybody expects, or not everybody expects, but there's always people that expect they will win, and have the mindset so struck in their head that when they hear the news that they haven't placed or they haven't placed first, it always hits them. So sometimes you get where you just have to explain to them, okay, so you didn't place, but you did a really good job. And like every competition we've judged, everybody has such high skill.
It's difficult.
So it's never an easy thing. But from experience, we have to judge to the dot so that the person walks away and not just the people that are there are happy, but the people that review it go, okay, this was a good read. And judges see a lot of things that nobody will see because we've judged 1,000+ costumes.
Yeah.
So we've obviously had a few people that kind of come back.
Actually, I have to pull up the podium just to talk about some of those things right here.
Yeah, so in all honesty, when it comes to judging, we've had that when competing ourselves, I've never had like bad experience as a contestant. But like Harry said, it's not like a really bad experiences or anything, but we've had one time where someone really went out, where we won't name what it was, but they got really mad and they tried to go on social media and like get mad at the judges. But on top of that, it's not just one judge. There's either 3 or 4 judges. So it's collectively you come to a decision. So, you know, sometimes you're always going to have, in some competitions, you're going to have sore losers. And when that happens, it can get nasty, but we've been very lucky, I think.
I think I've only had 2 events like that.
Yeah,
maybe
just
one.
Only one that actually got really mad, but it was justified. Yeah. I mean, we were just explaining why they didn't win, so yeah.
And they still complained.
Yeah, they still complained.
Giyazaki is saying, like, how can we compare a ball gown with a full armor? It's
it's very difficult.
Yes, it's
that's why casting is such an important thing. Like when you're judging where the first, second, and third place for an overall competition, it's impossible.
Yeah, for example, second place we have as a cosplay as Horus. Like, such a beautiful cosplay.
I mean, to be honest, when I was there and we were looking at it, I told Harry, the first thing I told him is I won't be able to win. Yeah. Like competition, like costume-wise, her costume is so detailed. It's so pretty. And obviously the judges saw different things than what we see in the first eye, because I did not, like I said, I did not expect to place first.
When Saku was getting into costume, I was helping her a little bit, but I kind of, like, from experience, I was kind of prejudging in my head as I was walking around, and everybody did so amazing, but I knew that it was going to be those 2 in the top 2 after seeing the costumes.
He had more faith in me than I did.
It was also, there was a Deathstroke who was so good.
I'm showing it right now.
Phenomenal.
Yes,
like so this guy actually, like, he used TAS 16, casted it all. It was phenomenal. Like, really honestly good. Not many cosplayers cast, and like casting is what takes you to movie level, just because it allows you to be stunt proof. So you can go and get thrown through a wall and that costume survives. Like, it's phenomenal.
To be fair,
Yeah, like Naimija said that Deathstroke was insane. Like the level of paint detail was insane when I talked to her in private. Like,
I actually learned a lot from the paintings too.
But to
really
be
cool.
fair, like this is just 3 examples. That entire competition, every single contestant was so good. Like they were.
Why not show Naimija since she's here? Like,
yes.
Here, let's go.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Is that like Strasbourg?
My baby. My baby. Yeah, she was fantastic, man. She looked absolutely stunning. And I remember, like we all have that when we're backstage, that we have that moment of like, oh, it didn't came out the way we want to or something. And then you look at this and you're like, which part? Honey, you look absolutely stunning. You're like, what? But that's what I mean. Every single cosplay was so good that at this point, it's up to the judges to see the minor, like the small details or the extra things. And that's what they judge on. So
agreed.
I wouldn't want to be in their place. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, judging is a really hard job.
Yeah.
Also, phenomenal judging panel. Like for this
really
event,
nice.
like one of the most high caliber judging panels I've seen in a long time. Every judge had so much experience, had competed at so many different levels, and they even had an SFX guy that represented
Also,
Star Wars, and
this was the cosplay she entered with. That she won the invite to go to the competition.
Yeah, because from what we heard, so I think Portugal is the only one that has to do pre-selections for Magic Monaco, right?
It was the one that did, and it was on Comic-Con.
Yeah, I was gonna say we talked about it. And every other country, I believe, at least for us, they just get selected. So they select a specific cosplayer. But I heard that for like Portugal, you really have to place the preliminaries, which I think is super awesome. So she already won one round and then went to the next, you know? Like
and Naimija says it's in Portugal and Spain that do preliminaries before the competition.
I think that's actually really smart, though. I think that's really smart. But yeah, she's fantastic, man. She is stunning.
A-star, really, really talented.
Okay, we've touched on a little bit about like the bad things about the competition. Also, we wanted to ask another question, which was the Instagram question, talking about harassment and how to deal with that.
That's
in the world of cosplay.
Oh,
it's a difficult. I think it's we're lucky that now we are publicly a couple. It's lucky and unlucky at the same time. I'm gonna talk first about like my personal experience before I became a couple with Harry, and then you can tell about your own as well. For me, I've had situations in which I was very uncomfortable. The lucky side for me is I am very outspoken. So if you make me feel uncomfortable, I will let you know. So
that's the Spanish way, I think. Yeah.
Right? I mean, if they make a comment about a certain part of my bodies, I will just look at them and go like, do you think that's okay? That's not okay, my dude. But honestly,
if you met one of the people part of the group, you would be such great friends because you're such alike each other.
It's a strong-willed people, I guess. But I can also understand, and that's why we advocate for it very, very harshly. I understand that there's a lot of people that don't dare to speak up about it, and that's why it's so important that as voices that have a platform, we need to tell people when it's not okay. It's the same for me personally with harassment on social media. At events, I don't get harassed; they don't dare. But social media, I deal with a lot of stuff on a daily because it's not so bad, but it's not okay. You know, there are comments where I'm like, you shouldn't say this, and especially not to a couple. But yeah, that's I will get into that a little bit personally.
Like in events, harassment is dealt with right then and there, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. They have security. You have people like, I always highly suggest if you get harassed, if I'm ever at an event and you get harassed, come up to me as if I'm your long lost sister. Just tell me, so good to see you. I will protect you. Like, no worries. And the same goes for him. Like, if we're ever at an event and you're getting harassed, feel free to come up to us and pretend like you've known us for years so we can protect you, because that's super important. And other than that, if something happens, call security.
All events have really good security.
Yeah.
From my point of view, like for media, I've never had harassment ever. I've always I had like my social media went in like a really, really fast way. So I grew very, very fast in like the space of 3 years. So my social media spiked out. I gained a really, really supportive fan base and following around the world. I have like a lot of followers in Southeast Asia. Huge shout out to Filipino Nation. Love you guys. My Filipinos and everybody like that have always been amazingly supportive to me, and even to Soku. Like we kind of came out from a relationship. I was a little bit worried that my social media would kind of, because there is whenever I said that I was gonna, or I got close to somebody, my social media is very protective of me. So a lot of people kind of were like, they would go after the people. It got to a point where I was a bit like, okay, I won't post anything publicly. And then it was when me and Soku decided, okay, we're in this for the long run. I knew that I had to announce it, and she thought that I had to announce it too. So we announced on my media and her media that we were dating, and it was a wonderful like feedback. Like people were so supportive.
I mean, we both have really, really supportive fan bases. Like our fan bases are the best that you can like have. Like whenever I get something like hate related, it is from outside my own community or from outside his community. It's just people that, you know, see us for the first time and then decide to say something. I also think, if I'm going to be honest, that females get a lot more of this because we get a lot of comments about the size of our boobs, the size of our body. You know, like I've had comments about my boobs not being big enough for certain cosplays. Like you will never have that issue because it's a completely different, like, I think for males it's a bit different as well, but we've been really blessed with our fan bases, and whenever we had to deal with harassment or like negativity online, we are the kind of people that open up to it. We have said as well, like in our relationship, we've had to learn that we need to communicate among each other, because for me, when I started dating him, even though both our communities were super supportive, some people outside of the communities were making some comments regarding me, and that's something that you have to discuss as a couple, because it makes me feel not worthy of him. And even though, you know, it's really stupid because you know that you're worth it, but it does reach you. And I'm a 30-year-old person that still gets hurt by social media sometimes. So it is very difficult how to deal with it. Like it's different for everyone, but I think communication and talking about it is very important. And also I think we should put people online accountable for it. So if they say something, let them know, hey, this is not okay. For example, the biggest example that we have is when I do videos with him in which we are intimate, you know, like there's a kiss or whatever. I've had a lot of the times where people comment like, Saku, move aside, it's my turn. It sounds like a very innocent comment, but to a couple to tell them, hey, get out of the way, I want to kiss your boyfriend now, it hurts. You know, it's not a nice comment, but people think it's funny, it's quirky. So if you don't tell them, hey, you know, I know it's meant as a joke, but it's not nice, they won't know. So I think the most important part is to educate people and be like, hey, I understand that you didn't mean any harm, but I'd rather you don't say something like that.
Also showing up as it fits the...
Yeah, we shot this like 2 days ago.
Yes, it was such a quick project. You look so hot with the beard and the mustache. I like it.
And I'll never be able to grow it. That's sad.
Yeah. And also, let's say, for example, if we talk about Intimate, the cosplay you did with the Spy X family.
Oh.
It's a good one. I like that one. The one that we got a lot, like not a lot, but the most hate for was Banana Lane. But it's also because a lot of people have the opinions about Elaine because she looks young. So we got a lot of, not for us as a couple, we didn't get hate for that. We got hate for the characters.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But on a real, like, I would say that we've been in such an we've been in such an amazing like position just because we haven't received any hate, and I don't think we will in the future, just because we have amazing communities. We have such friendly, amazing people around us, and I would say that we've always kept very humble. So it's always we've never grown out of our boots. We've always been very grounded in the community, and this has allowed us to create people that are with us for the long run. And yeah, they're amazing. I love those guys.
Lucky with our fan bases. Yeah. Really, really are lucky.
It's very true.
So Kiyosaki was telling our experience as well, because she dresses up as male characters mainly, and she says that she never feel that she's being harassed.
Yeah.
And she can imagine what more feminine cosplayers go through. I might have when I cosplayed Panther from Persona 5. Yeah.
Yeah,
we have a perfect cosplay from Saku. This one right here, as Demon Kuro.
Yes. Listen, Makuro has never gotten hate, except for people asking me to step on them. But we don't mind those comments. That's cute, you know. But like,
when Saku walks up at like 5 foot 4.
Yeah, it's like on social media I look really big, and then I come to an event and they're like, "Oh, hello, Saku." Very small. Yeah.
Now, then I noticed. Do you use the latex?
Silicone. Yeah, the silicone.
The silicone vest. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I use for the demons, for all of the demons, because we used to have a series called Demons Pact. So it's
Let me see if I can find the picture.
Yes, I have, like, there's the whole story is based off of characters from Haikyuu.
Actually, no. Wait. No. You can continue. It's
a story based of like the seven characters from Haikyuu, 7 captains from Haikyuu, and they were turned into the sins, like the deadly sins. And we made a whole story around it. It's still available on our web shop. But yeah, yeah, exactly. For every demon, I use a silicone chest. Because I don't have the stickers back. I don't have them. So yeah, but this never got harassed for this. When I posted things like this or videos like this, I never got any bad comments other than girls simping over it, you know?
Yeah. Also, another question. This is also another Instagram question that we received, and it's about how to deal with the stage anxiety in a competition.
Having an amazing boyfriend like Harry. No, honestly, he did help me a lot with the jitters at Magic Monaco. I have to admit though, I've done so much stage experience. For me, it's not anxiety of like, oh, I'm scared, but it's more of a, oh, I want stage. But I do remember that when I first started, I was really, really scared. But the one thing I always tell people before going on stage for this anxiety is no one knows what you're gonna do. So even if you mess up, they won't know. So you just have fun, do your thing. If you mess up, keep going, and it will still look like you knew what you were doing. So in the end of the day, you don't lose anything with it.
And for me, every single time I go on stage, I am so freaking scared. But in all honesty, like, I put a smile on, and I noticed that everybody around me never thinks that I'm worried, or like I'm good at projecting an image of very much confidence in those situations. And as soon as I'm worried, it worries other people. So I always give myself a level head, wear a smile, even though my heart is running at 10,000 RPM. I'm always like, I try and give myself like a very fun.
I mean, I think everyone's nervous before they go on stage, to be fair. So like we all get nervous. So you can also remember that when you're nervous before going on stage, just know everybody is nervous. And in the end of the day, it's about you having fun. And in the worst case scenario, this is the one thing I had to teach myself. Worst case scenario, if you really mess up, they will forget it in 2 weeks.
Truth.
So no one will remember it. Yes. Alela shot is a big example. Well, they still remember that one. We don't talk about it. But yeah.
Lady,
no, I
to ask.
She
she was reading the chat, I think.
No, no worries.
I froze. I froze when Gazaki said Phantom P. I was like, huh?
Phantom P.
Oh, okay. Yeah, makes sense. And then you have like a big, like elaborate costume, and how can you go and?
This is the biggest issue. I told Harry when I was at Magic Monaco. The whole costume, I have to put it on at once. If I want to go pee, I have to take the whole thing off. And we were standing in front of the stage, and I told Harry, I'm like, this is probably a really bad moment to tell you that I really need to pee, right? And he was like, well, you're gonna have to hold it up.
I think it has to be with any kind of event, like also in with Gamescom or with what was this event right here? Dressed up as a hawk.
Gamescom, right?
Yeah, so basically I am the official stage host for 2 events in the Netherlands, the Dutch Comic Con and Heroes Made in Asia. So the lucky part for this one, I never get nervous going on stage for this one because it's like I am inviting people into my house. I've been working with them for like, I think 6 years now. So every time I go on stage, it's like, you know, welcome them into my house, and it's just, it feels really home, which is why I don't really get as nervous anymore when I go on stage. But when like the Gamescom one, I'm gonna be honest, that one I was so nervous because it was something completely different to what we normally do. It wasn't a competition, we had to do a show. And it was also depending on 5 other people. So normally when you do a competition, you either have one partner or you do it alone, so you don't have to depend on other people. And in this one, it was like, if I mess up, it's gonna mess up the other's choreography as well. So I have to admit, with that, it was a lot. Yeah, especially the stage fighting. Because so little insight, right? I'm gonna tell you guys a secret. Don't tell anyone. We did a performance, and I accidentally
nearly knocked out Milan.
Knocked out one of my partners in the fight because I had to hit the sword upwards, and he was like 2 seconds too late. But I still had to do the movement, so I hit him full in the face.
Yeah.
And he just continued like a champ, as if nothing happened. But in the video, you can actually see the moment where it's like...
Like this guy, you see the stars going around his head.
Oh, it was so bad. It was so bad.
Naimishi is asking to show your Alexstrasza cosplay.
Oh my god. Oh, we don't talk about Alexstrasza.
Oh.
She also did Alexstrasza on the competition.
Yeah, this one. So basically, the problem was I got hired by Blizzard to do a TikTok campaign, and I had 2 days to make this. So they were like, "Yeah, figure it out," and I'm like, "Okay." So I mean, in all honesty, my baby did a way better job. I was so happy to see the full costume at Magic Monaco because she did fantastic, and I was really just like. Yeah, like literally had her spinning circles. I was like, I just want to see every little part of it because, you know, as someone who made Alexstrasza, I only made from the waist up. I know how much detail goes into that. So I was so impressed by her costume. Yeah, it was really funny though.
Like, how can you make like the paints and the varnish, everything like a dry into days?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it had to dry overnight. The good part is I only use spray paint. I don't use acrylics. So spray paint like dries really fast, and then on top of it is the catalyzer again. So you have the whatchamacallit, the catalyzer that you use for cars, and that's why it's so shiny. But that also dries really fast. At least it needs like max 12 hours.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
nice.
To touch dry is 12 hours. For actual like hardening dry, it's 48 to 72.
Because that's the other thing with the catalyzer, because it's a component that reacts to, there's like a little lid on it and you have to click it and then it starts reacting to each other. You can only use that can for 48 hours. After that, it dries up and you cannot use it.
Okay, it's like, for example, acrylic. You have when you mix those two components, then it can dry up really fast.
With the resin, yeah, exactly.
Like molded acrylic.
Yeah. It's like that, but then it's a spray over everything. Yeah,
it's really good. It's one of those things though. It isn't too good to use on foam.
No.
Use it on foam, you get a lot of cracks in it because
I mean,
it's really
You can use it. No, you can use it on foam. But like for example, my chest armor from Vi, the base is foam, but because I used Sintra to make the little details, it keeps it in shape. So the bad side is he's right. You cannot use it on foam if it needs to bend, because by bending the catalyzer cracks. But if you have a that one, the chest, you can not see it completely, but the chest.
Here we go. Here it goes.
Oh, I also have a highlight on my stories of the making of, or on my profile, a highlight of the making of Vi, and in that one you can also see the process. So the chest plate is actually foam, but the little ridge on the bottom and the one on the top is Sintra, so it keeps it in shape. So therefore, if you put laser on it, it doesn't bend and it doesn't crack.
Naimishi is asking if with Alex Strasser it was made with Sintra as well.
No, Alex Strasser was lazy and I made it out of foam, and that's where I made the mistake, because it started cracking because I didn't like, so when I put it on, it started cracking at the bottom. If you look really closely, you can actually see it, but we will pretend you don't.
Oh.
Yeah, we already talked about so many timelines, like 2 weeks for a competition, 2 days for
the crazy thing is
company partnership. Like
we've got a project coming up soon. We can't say too much about it, but it is going to be a project like no other. Like the.
Oh yes. Yeah. Oh, if that comes, like we're working on it at the moment. When that happens, we'll let you guys know, because that is bringing the EXO base to the next level. Like
it's going to bring cosplay level. Like in all honesty, it's bringing top tier actors cosplay together while also creating cinematics, events, activations.
Nice.
Possible gargantuan competition.
But I think what we're also really excited about at the moment is we also have the casting and stuff going for like talents in Exobase, and we're really excited to be able to get them some jobs around the world.
Exobase has a very we have a very niche category though for the things that we offer. We're not a typical like agency where we go rooting for jobs, because we're partnered with so many different like top AAA listed game companies, as well as representing them, and we don't and tourism around the world, but we don't come in and speak with like brand level where we know the VPs and the heads of the companies, so it kind of gives us that in where we come in with a project and we go, okay, talent, you are worth what we believe you're worth. Like we will push you to the max of your budget.
It's more than they believe that they are worth, because they always believe they're worth less, and most of the talents, they are like, all of the talents are always worth a lot more than they put themselves out for.
Yeah.
That's a lot attributed to our own insecurities. Like
yes,
it's truth.
Yes, and also companies treating it as if it's a hobby. There's too many cosplayers in the world that like yes, I'm gonna be honest. We ruin our own markets, because there's cosplayers out there that are super talented and that are doing things for free. And you should never, like, I understand that it's very tempting, because then you get to work with big companies, but because of that, a lot of the companies still see it as a hobby.
We never do anything for free.
Yeah, no. Sometimes companies that ask people to do stuff for free, they can abuse the hell out of you.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And we wanna show people like, hey, you are worth money. So in order to do that, we need to show the community, hey, guys, stop doing it for free, because otherwise you will ruin the market for yourself. A friend of ours
also quoted something really kind of enlightening. How do you word it again?
Yeah, it's like we were talking to a friend of ours in France, and he literally put it out the best way possible. A company once asked him, they were like, why would I pay money for you when I can actually get someone who does it for free, or who does it for less? And his answer was, you can get the person that does it for less, but this person will not know how to act. They are not aware that what they do is that the company is liable for it. So there's a big chance that if something happened and they don't behave properly, your company is going to have to deal with, everything that comes after, with all the drama, with the damage control. Yes. Whereas if you hire someone that gets paid for it.
Oh, that drama. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Exactly. So he was like, and that's why, as a cosplayer yourself, you also want to make sure that they know they have to pay you for it because you're a professional.
Yes.
You know that when you do something, your name is connected to the company, and whatever you do is going to be linked to the company. So that was a really good way to show, like, a company, like, if you're ever struggling to tell a company why they have to pay for you, it's because you're a professional.
Exactly. It's the difference.
Yes.
Like, professionalism carries, and that's what people pay for. Like, there's a reason why people hire Paramount to do things. They hire, what's the name of it? Can't remember the other studio that I was going to use as a reference, Legacy, other places like that, because they are so professional. So if you bring cosplayers up to that level, you charge the same level. Yeah. That's it. There's no difference.
You just have to believe it, and that's what we're trying to do now. We're trying to show that as a cosplayer, you have to believe in yourself. It's no longer a hobby. Even though you like doing it, like, your time is worth money.
Exactly.
Yes.
Also,
Like,
oh, sorry.
No, I was gonna say, like, for example, I come from the world of photography and taking photographs of cosplayers. Like, if I want to do a shoot and sell that shoot, I want to sell at a price that is worth it for the both of us.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Yeah, and I try to deliver a product that both the parties like.
Exactly. Yeah. And you make a deal on that. Like, everyone's time is worth something. And obviously, I'm not saying that you cannot do things for free ever. If you think that what you're getting for it is worth your time, then, you know, it's okay. But when we're talking about big companies where we know these companies have the money because they hire other influencers, you know that they will be able to pay you.
Also, a fun thing is, I'd say 80% of the companies that influencers hire or talents or micro talents, whichever they are, they get hired through a third-party agency, a typical qual agency, right? We know the budgets that those agencies get paid. So, like, we understand how much those influencers are getting paid and behind the scenes. So when okay.
Well, and more, that's also a big reason why we started Exobase as well, is we saw these kind of agencies taking advantage of the talents because they were keeping 60% to themselves of what the talent was supposed to pay out. And the talent would only get 40. Whereas we're like, okay, we can't have people do that. Like, a talent needs to get paid what a talent needs to get paid. Yes, as an agency, you have to make a percentage, but 60 is ridiculously high. Like, that's not fair to.
Yeah,
so
that's ridiculously high.
Yes.
It reminds me of, like, the percentages of AdSense from YouTube, from TikTok, from Facebook.
I was thinking that.
Yes,
Twitch, for example.
Yeah, they do all the work. So we spoke about this because that's what we prize ourselves on with Exobase. We're very much on high moral. We want people to be treated properly.
Agreed.
So that's also why we said we took the agency part of it where we represent talents, because we want to show talents, hey, if we as a company come in, you're still going to get paid what you should get paid. And we're not taking 60%. That's ridiculous.
We had like 5 major pushing points. Exobase has a production facility where we build movies, we create stunt activations, things like that. And like, if you wanted a Marvel movie, if you've got a Marvel budget, we can create that now. That's the route we went down. And now we've also got activations and event projects. This categorizes event build-up, booth design, talent acquisition, stunt planning, stage activations, everything you could think of on that scale. Esports management. We can push different esports teams around the world to things. We have Japanese. That's the thing. Like, from connections, we have managed to become these spiders in the webs, which talents have never managed to do. But we have, because we came together.
It's only possible because of the fact that we realized you can't do things on your own.
Yeah.
I remember the cosplay community being really strict on, oh yeah, you have to do things on your own, and if you don't make your costume yourself, then it's frowned upon, and it's not like that. These days, doing things with other people is what makes it possible to bring it to the next level. And as soon as you realize that and you value the other people around you, you can do so much more. And that's the reason why we as Exobase can do so many things, because we are we are an umbrella. We have these amazing people that
and
we
amazing
work with.
companies we have.
Amazing companies, amazing people that we work with now that can offer so much more, and we have all the networks.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, let's just connect everyone and just create a new environment in the
I'd like to
community.
say we should have another chat in a year and see where things are in the gaming space.
Oh, we can do another episode.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, a nice idea.
There's a lot of things we've done at the moment which are going to be triggered over the next 6 to 8 months, and people don't even realize it, but the gaming space is going to change like this.
Yeah.
It's going to be
great,
scary.
guys. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully, yeah. the next
Lady, you have a
question.
question? Yeah.
Are there things that you learn from other cosplayers during the Magic Monaco or any other competition?
I mean, just Magic Monaco already taught us so many different things, and I already can tell from Harry as well, because he spoke to so many people about crafting and stuff. For me personally as well, I have to admit, and I'm gonna be a bit open and honest about this, I had forgotten what it was like to be in a competition like that, to be connected to, you know, the community like that, to the people. And for me, it taught me where I started again. It really showed me my passion and why I'm doing what I'm doing, because every day I love what I'm doing, but doing a competition like that for me brought me back to my roots, and it was like, okay, I remember why I'm doing cosplay. Apart from that, for you personally, I think you had like
yeah, I had a bit of an epiphany at that event. Epiphany, sorry.
Epiphany, yeah.
Those guys, so I would say that when it comes down to like a production standard, the cosplay scene is growing at such a rapid pace that even like a lot of the production teams around the world struggle to keep up with these guys. Like, we met people that are casting as cosplayers. Like, I learned about new casting materials, which blew my mind. Like, some of the talent that we saw, literally, I'll say all the talent, but some of them really resonated with us, where we opened up conversations, and honestly, I walked away and I was like, okay, it's time to get one of our molding teams who works with like resin and everything like that, to do this. Like, specifically, it's the techniques that you see. It's ridiculous.
crazy. It's
Like
really crazy.
Nate, for example. Nate is
Nate's here.
phenomenal. That man is
Pela
Studio.
Parallel Studio, yes.
Yeah.
Parallel Studio is a big example. They do a lot of like superhero costumes. The way they
Phenomenal.
work, it's great. And we met them there as well. But also the talents in themselves. Like, everybody had the strangest techniques to just make it work. But I'm just looking like, I would have never thought of that. Like, I would have never, and easy as well. Like, something so stupid that you'd be like, huh, okay, that's smart.
It's true.
And cheaper. So yeah, it was really, really eye-opening.
Yeah. So much talent. And even when you go, so we're one of the few cosplayers around the world who has really managed to jump on the GCC market and become like MENA representatives in the cosplay world. So we go to Saudi Arabia, we go to the UAE,
Dubai,
and
Abu Dhabi, Egypt. I mean, people don't really know these countries yet, but they are fantastic. They're really cool.
They really are. And the talent out there is like Sylar.
Well, the thing is, right, that's also that apart from Magic Monaco, going there and judging competitions there is a huge eye-opener, because they don't have the materials that we have. Yeah. So they have to be really creative. And then sometimes we've seen some costumes where we're like, how?
Yeah, like Sylar, for example, right? Sylar is a guy we've seen like he's competed all over the GCC. This guy, he comes to Europe or he comes to America and competes. This man walks away every single time. Like, honestly, anybody. Like, he is on an entirely new level. He has time management like I've never seen before. He creates costumes which would a movie studio wouldn't be able to create in the space of 2 months. Like, we're talking like
really neat as
$100,000 costumes. Just he goes. Done.
It's like a control time or something like that.
Yeah, like, boom, Thanos it. Like,
it's so crazy. Yeah. Hoping to get him to the Netherlands at some point.
He needs to.
For an event. He's thinking actually of coming in June. But I already told him, I'm like, I will invite you to the Netherlands. I'm fine with it, but I would just have to warn the community because you're gonna wipe the floor with them. Because we are talented here. Like we have a lot of talented cosplayers here. But the level this man is gonna bring, he's very, very, very talented.
Good.
Yeah.
Very, very good. Scarily good.
Well, talking about time management and stuff, how normally, let's say normally now, do you make your own cosplays? If you don't have like a time frame for a project or like that?
Well, I think for me personally, my biggest problem is I've been working with companies for the last, I would say, 6 years. And they always tell you to be really fast. And because of that, I've taught myself that I cannot take longer than 2 or 3 weeks on a costume, because that's normally the time frame that I have with a company. If I'm lucky, I get 3 weeks. So because of that, I've noticed that when I do something for myself, I don't allow myself to take longer than a month, because that's not worth it for me anymore because of the high pace. It's very toxic to myself. So I would never suggest any other cosplayer to go by that. But it's because of the working environment that I've been in, where I have to go so fast with every costume that I don't give myself any time to take long. I don't know. I think it's the same for you, right?
It's very much the same. Like Zach Fair, like 2 days.
Yeah.
we had weeks to do this thing. We're just like, you know what, Zach and Aerith, 2 days. Like it's one of those things. We've set unbelievable standards when it comes down to working with companies. So we still hold those standards when working for ourselves. On the bright side, we will have a lot of spare time when it comes down to costume making, and then that gets focused on other things.
But also what we kind of forget, and that's why I was saying it's a bit toxic to ourselves, is when we work with companies, we work with a team. We have Dobie, we've got Novard, we've got a lot of people working on it. So of course, a week is then still really tight, but because you have more people working on it, it works fast. If you do this alone, it's going to take a little bit longer.
True. Very true.
Yeah. It's better if you have a team than working with, by yourself. Like, no joke.
But it's also what we've noticed, like even today, if we do a costume for ourselves, we don't feel the need anymore to do everything ourselves.
We've got such a wide team. Like our team keeps growing rapidly. Projects are getting higher. The budgets and things like that. So as this grows, it means that we can just keep outsourcing and creating more kind of value for the community. So why would we make it ourselves? It makes no sense.
Except for when it's competition, obviously. Yeah. Magic Monaco was 100% self-made because it's allowed.
Yeah. For competition, I completely understand.
Yeah, exactly. But apart from that, it's just why take all the why do it by yourself when you have an amazing team, and you can also financially support them by paying them for these projects, which helps them to become better like entrepreneurs in their own field. So yeah,
agreed.
Yeah, it's a win-win.
Yes, exactly.
Lady, I think you have another question.
No, it's yours. It's you.
Let me see. No, I talked about how much time you take normally for a cosplay. Now it's your turn.
I guess so. So your question was the last one. So I like.
Do you, for example,
like the last question. I have like the ending in the last question.
Yeah, we had so much jumping around questions that I threw up all the plans that we had on our PDF. Like, yeah. And that was my fault. That was totally my fault.
Because he was changing orders, and I was like, okay, so this question.
Okay. Where are we now? It's okay. We're all chaos. That comes with the chaos.
Yeah. If you, we already talked about advices for people that wanted to start competitions. What to expect from those competitions.
I think when it comes to competitions, the one thing that I've always told, especially, it depends on, so there's two things, right? When you first start competitions, I would say start with something small, like a small competition in like one of the cons in the country that is not a huge thing, because then you get a feel for the stage, You get a feel for what it's like to be in front of an audience, and it's not of a like that higher like standard quality where you have to go by every rule. Because like, for example, a big example is I host Dutch Comic Con in the Netherlands. We have the catwalks there. Like, if you've never been in a competition, I would suggest to first do the catwalk, which is literally just walking on and walking off. And then the next competition, just a easy competition, you know, where it's just like, okay, we judge them on different things like performance or crafting, because they are not that heavy. So it's just more fun. If you're going to do a competition where you're doing, like, for example, WCS, ECG, Magic Monaco.
Maybe don't start with them.
No, don't start.
Yeah, start small with the local con and start small.
Yes, and then if you decide to go to like
what?
My phone's died. The batteries died. Sorry.
oh, that's alright. It's been a long conversation.
I still listen.
Oh, okay. No, I was gonna say, like, and if you do decide to do, for example, ECG, WCS, where you have to have a partner, the one tip that I can give you is make sure that you can fight with this partner, as in you can argue and you will still be okay, because in these competitions there's so much at play. Yeah, it's gonna test your relationship with this person, so you need to be able to fight with them and make up like brothers or like family, because there's a lot at play, there's a lot of pressure on it. So yeah, you need to be able to really connect with them and feel comfortable with them and just enjoy.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
Truth.
I think the best part is like enjoy and meet other people and learn, like
100%.
I think it's always a win-win, even if you don't win like a contest. You win something, even
you win expertise. You opens up opportunities later down the line. It's one of the things that we know.
Oh, that's also what I always say to like contestants. So I have a lot of younger cosplayers that I work with that I'm helping. I always suggest do the cosplay competitions, because even if you don't win, the way you leave an impression, you talk to the organizers, you talk to the other people. I've had competitions where I came in, I didn't win, I wasn't there like to win, and even if I tried to win, there's always better talents, and it happens. But they still remember me because I interacted with everyone, because I communicated with everyone.
Also, she's the biggest goofball at the event.
I'm an idiot. So people always idiots, you know.
Yeah, it's true.
But it connects, and then
it connects, and it's a way to also just release some pressure.
Yes, exactly. And on top of that, when especially if you want to do event guesting as a cosplayer, what events are looking at is people that are fun, that people that are interactive with their fans. So if you're an idiot and you just have a good time, even if you don't win, an organization will be like, that's an asset for our event, because they are going to make our event fun.
Yeah.
So that's another thing that I would really say, take that with you. It's good when you,
At the end of the day, just be a goofball and you'll be okay.
That's it.
Literally.
Best advice in the world.
This is the lesson we learned today.
That's a big important lesson.
So yeah, I think we're at the end of our road here. A little bit.
Really enjoyed this, guys.
I enjoy so much talking to you.
Yeah, you guys are so fun. It was really fun to talk about all this, and very open as well. Like, it's nice to just say what you think.
Agreed. Really enjoyed it.
Oh,
yeah. The last question. I think lady can ask it.
Where the?
Wait, huh?
Wait.
Yeah.
I'm just so confused.
Just not be just me. It's spewing words.
Well, do you have any words or advice for aspiring cosplayers and the ones that are already making their own cosplays and?
I think personally, from me, I think he has different advice because we're on a different aspect. But for me, don't forget where you start. For those who have already been cosplaying, like keep in mind where you started and go back to that regularly, because that's personally something that I forgot. Like over the years, I was so business focused and focused on the costumes I was making for events that I completely forgot what it was like to just have fun. And for starting cosplayers, pick something that you're super passionate about, something that you've always wanted to do, because that first cosplay is going to be a memory that is going to go with you forever. So make sure it's something that you really like so that it's a good memory.
Truth. From my part, choose something you love to cosplay. Just because, like, in all honesty, I started off just doing something because I enjoyed it.
It's easier that way. It's easier that way. Just choose something you like and you're halfway there.
Exactly, that's it. It inspires you when you're doing something you enjoy. It keeps you motivated. It's always a better route to do, because motivation always creates better result. And so always do something that you're motivated to cosplay and you really, really want to do. That's and then you'll go somewhere.
And take your friends. Your friends. I took my family. They didn't like cosplay, but I still put them in cosplay. It was great.
Oh, nice.
Oh my god.
Well, it was nice meeting you guys. It was such a pleasure.
Thank you for coming.
From our side, thank you so much for being with us, chat. If you have any other questions, feel free to ask. But if not, we're gonna end it here. It was such a learning experience for us, even for me, that I'm not accustomed to do interviews. I normally do just podcasting stuff. But this was really fun and really interesting to do. Yeah.
Hey, you guys killed it.
You guys did amazing. So for first time, you did really good.
But yeah, well, this has been great, guys. I love it so much, and for the rest of the people, thank you for watching, and see you guys in the next episode.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.